The rhythmic pulse of a bass line, the crisp snap of a modern snare, and the unmistakable tag that echoes through millions of speakers worldwide form the invisible fabric of contemporary culture. Yet the architects of these modern symphonies often remain shrouded in the shadows of the recording studio. In the fast-paced realm of modern music, where trends evaporate as quickly as they materialize, certain sonic signatures manage to transcend the digital noise and redefine the auditory landscape of an entire generation. We listen to the anthems that define our late nights, our triumphs, and our collective memories, rarely pausing to consider the intense human journey behind the heavy frequencies vibrating through our headphones. The music industry operates as a glittering machine of high stakes and monumental talent, where young visionaries from ordinary neighborhoods suddenly find themselves holding the keys to global cultural empires, carrying the immense weight of expectation and artistic evolution on their shoulders. It is a world where an individual can go from composing beats on a laptop in a quiet bedroom to dictating the cultural rhythm of the globe, captivating millions with nothing more than an innovative arrangement of digital sounds. Before we dive deeper into the remarkable journey of one of the most influential sonic architects of our time and explore the profound impact of his abrupt departure, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and join our community as we honor the legacies and stories that shape our world. The narrative of modern hip-hop is fundamentally a story of production, a chronicle of how subterranean frequencies and innovative drum programming managed to migrate from regional underground circles into the absolute mainstream of global entertainment. For decades, the spotlight has belonged almost exclusively to the vocalists, the charismatic figures who command the stage and capture the public imagination with their lyricism and presence. Yet, any true student of the genre understands that the vocalist is only half of the equation. A performer navigating a complex sonic landscape meticulously crafted by a producer whose identity is often compressed into a brief auditory watermark at the beginning of a track. These producers serve as the true directors of the musical theater, setting the mood, establishing the tension, and engineering the precise emotional peaks that compel listeners to replay a song hundreds of times. When a particular producer manages to consistently capture the cultural zeitgeist across multiple years, and with vastly different artists, they cease to be mere studio technicians and instead become historical figures within the artistic canon. The journey from anonymity to institutional recognition within this competitive field requires not just raw talent, but an almost prophetic understanding of what the human ear craves before the public even realizes it themselves. It demands an relentless work ethic, an unyielding dedication to the craft, and the rare ability to maintain humility while navigating the highest echelons of the global entertainment industry. To understand the magnitude of the legacy that has suddenly been left behind, one must understand the unique environment that breeds this kind of artistic innovation, where regional traditions blend with digital globalism to create entirely new forms of expression. The sudden silence that falls when such a vibrant creative force is unexpectedly extinguished leaves a void that resonates far beyond the confines of the recording studio, sending shockwaves through millions of listeners who connected with that specific artistic vision. It forces us to reflect on the fleeting nature of genius, the incredible pressures of early success, and the profound way that a single individual's creative output can intertwine with the personal histories of listeners across the globe. As rumors began to circulate through digital networks and official statements gradually confirmed the devastating reality, the global community found itself grappling with a collective sense of disbelief and grief. The story we are unfolding today is not just about a tragic end, but about the meteoric rise of a young man who redefined the sound of a generation. A creative pioneer whose influence will continue to vibrate through the culture long after the music stops. The unsettling reality of this cultural loss began to materialize on a quiet Thursday in Nashville, a city known for its deep musical roots, but one that was about to become the backdrop for a heartbreaking chapter in modern hip-hop history. Metro Nashville police officers were called to an apartment complex to conduct what is officially termed a welfare check, a routine procedure that instantly transformed into a scene of profound solemnity when they discovered the lifeless body of Brytavious Lakeith Chambers, known to the world as Tay Keith. He was only 29 years old, a young man at the absolute peak of his creative powers and professional standing, whose name had become synonymous with hit records and industry excellence. The preliminary reports released by the authorities via social media channels delivered the devastating news to a stunned public, stating flatly that the cause of death remained completely unknown while adding the critical detail that investigators did not suspect foul play. This sudden and unexplained departure of a healthy, wildly successful young artist immediately injected an intense wave of tension and sorrow into the music community, sparking a cascade of questions that naturally arise when a bright light is extinguished without warning. The contrast between his monumental public achievements and the quiet, solitary nature of his final moments created a poignant narrative that captivated millions of fans who were left to process the reality that the man behind some of the most energetic anthems of the decade was gone. To comprehend the weight of this moment, one must trace the incredible trajectory of his career, which was firmly anchored in his native Memphis, Tennessee, a city with a legendary musical heritage that heavily informed his distinctive sonic palette. It was his work on Travis Scott's monumental 2018 track Sicko Mode that catapulted Tay Keith from a respected regional producer into a global phenomenon, a song that shifted the tectonic plates of the music industry and earned him a prestigious Grammy nomination for Best Rap Song at the 61st Annual Awards Ceremony in 2019. That track, with its complex structural shifts and hypnotic rhythms, served as a masterclass in modern production, demonstrating to the entire world that this young 23-year-old possessed an innate understanding of tension, energy, and musical progression that defied his age. The industry quickly realized that Tay Keith was not a temporary trend but a foundational force, a producer whose signature tag at the beginning of a song guaranteed a level of sonic brilliance that could elevate any project to commercial dominance. He followed this success by collaborating with the absolute titans of the entertainment world, lending his unmistakable touch to Drake's massive 2018 hit Nonstop and crafting the unmistakable foundation for Blockboy JB's cultural phenomenon Look Alive. His ability to bridge the gap between raw underground energy and polished commercial appeal made him an invaluable asset to major record labels and independent artists alike, leading to an iconic collaboration with Beyoncé herself on her 2019 masterpiece Homecoming, the live album, where he produced the vibrant bonus track Before I Let Go. Year after year, his work ethic remained relentless, culminating in yet another Best Rap Song Grammy nomination at the 2024 ceremony for his exceptional contributions to the track Rich Flex by Drake and 21 Savage. The sheer volume of his hits and the consistency of his output earned him the coveted title of Producer of the Year at the 2024 BMI Awards, an accolade that solidified his status as an elite visionary among his peers. Even as the years progressed toward the middle of the decade, his creative momentum showed absolutely no signs of slowing down, as evidenced by his inclusion in the prestigious 2025 Forbes 30 Under 30 music list, which celebrated his rapid ascension from a young talent to a multi-platinum powerhouse who had engineered hits for global icons like Cardi B and Eminem. His digital presence in the weeks leading up to his passing painted a picture of an artist deeply immersed in the future of the culture, actively promoting Chris Brown's recent track Call Your Name, featuring Glorilla and Sexy Red, while also championing Sexy Red's album Yo Favorite Trappa Favorite Rappa. The massive cultural reach of his production ecosystem was further highlighted when the track Get It Sexy made a high-profile appearance on the third season of the critically acclaimed HBO series Euphoria, exposing his signature frequencies to an even wider television audience alongside stars like Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, and Jacob Elordi. This incredible string of victories makes his sudden passing feel even more jarring, as the world was watching a young master continuously expand his empire, only for the music to be cut short in an apartment in Nashville, leaving an industry to mourn a visionary who still had so many chapters left to write. The legacy of Brytavious Lakeith Chambers is not merely defined by the platinum plaques that adorned his studio walls or the prestigious award nominations that validated his genius within the institutional hierarchies of the music industry. Instead, his true impact resides in the profound way he transformed the sonic landscape of modern culture, giving a voice to a generation of listeners who found their own triumphs, struggles, and celebrations mirrored in the heavy bass lines and intricate drum patterns he created. When we examine the remarkable journey of the boy from Memphis who grew up to become Tay Keith, we observe a trajectory that represents the absolute pinnacle of the modern musical dream, an inspiring narrative of raw determination and artistic authenticity conquering the global stage. He entered an industry that was highly competitive and frequently volatile, yet he managed to establish an unmistakable sonic identity that was instantly recognizable. a rare feat in an era where digital production tools have democratized beatmaking to the point of cultural saturation. His work was characterized by a brilliant minimalism that understood exactly when to allow a rhythm to breathe and when to hit the listener with overwhelming force, an instinctual grasp of musical dynamics that made his compositions feel alive, urgent, and deeply human. To fully understand why his sudden passing matters so deeply to the fabric of contemporary art, one must recognize that producers like Tay Keith are the true cultural historians of our era, capturing the precise energy, tension, and emotion of a specific point in time and preserving it forever within the digital master files of global streaming platforms. The artists he collaborated with, from underground regional trailblazers to global icons like Beyoncé, Eminem, Cardi B, and Drake, did not just seek his beats for their commercial viability, but because they understood that a Tay Keith production possessed a rare, authentic energy that could elevate a standard vocal performance into a timeless cultural anthem. His journey was one of continuous evolution, a relentless quest to push the boundaries of what hip-hop and popular music could sound like, bridging the gap between distinct eras and subgenres while maintaining an unwavering loyalty to his foundational roots in Tennessee. The tragic news of his death at the age of 29 leaves an agonizing question mark over where his brilliance would have taken him next, especially considering that his inclusion in the 2025 Forbes 30 Under 30 list and his Producer of the Year triumph at the 2024 BMI Awards indicated that he was only entering the mature phase of his executive and creative career. The music community now finds itself navigating a profound collective grief as fellow producers, legendary vocalists, and millions of fans across the globe utilize social media networks to share their favorite memories, tracks, and expressions of disbelief regarding this devastating loss. In the face of such an unexplained tragedy, the focus naturally shifts from the immediate shock of the police investigation toward a celebration of the immense catalog of art he managed to compress into his tragically brief time on Earth. From the explosive, multi-part arrangement of Sicko Mode that disrupted standard radio formats to the polished, energetic luxury of Rich Flex and the vibrant revivalism of Before I Let Go, his discography stands as a monumental testament to a young man who lived and breathed musical innovation. He proved to the world that a young kid from Memphis with a laptop, an ear for rhythm, and an unbreakable work ethic could single-handedly steer the direction of global pop culture, changing the lives of his family, his collaborators, and his listeners in the process. As the industry moves forward without one of its brightest guiding lights, the signature producer tag that opens so many of our favorite tracks will no longer signify a new arrival, but will instead serve as an enduring monument to a master craftsman who left us far too soon. The heavy frequencies he engineered will continue to vibrate through car speakers, arena sound systems, and headphones across the world for decades to come, ensuring that